All right, that's it. So there's the main in and out door. There's the big open door for doing stuff inside. And then on the back, this cabinet door unlatches to pick eggs. Hello. Hello, ladies. Also, the wheel is fixed. All right, I've figured out this much. These two terminals, when connected, so that's the starter, meaning these two right here should be the blade. So I'm gonna start it, and then I'm gonna touch these two together and see if the blade starts. Okay, here are the two side-by-side switches. I'll try to write a label on here when I take it down later to mow. But for now, I've got it all electrical taped in place. So the one on the right is the ignition. So ignition is on. And now you can turn it back off. And then the one on the left is the blade. That's it. Still turns it off. So I'll get this affixed down in that hole when I get some time down the hill with this mower. But for now, I mean, it's usable. I'm finally screening this front porch in. I still need to put 1x trim on the fronts, cover up these staples and seams, and I need to build little screen doors on these hatches that I made to access the hummingbird feeders. And oh yeah, that one's not hanging up anymore. And then this side, and then the bottoms. Yeah, it's all gonna be screen. So I guess I'm like 30% done. Got the back end off the mower today because I have to change out some busted brackets that are no longer connected to the transmission. See this little broken piece here? That should be connected to this bracket, and it's not. So I've got the new brackets, but I'm having to dig my way in here to figure out what all I need to disconnect to get this bracket out. And I found this thing. Now yesterday when Corey and I were moving this mower, it took both of us pushing like sled dogs to get this thing to roll, just so I could get it under the shade. Today, I'm like, all right, so I have to remove this thing so I can get this bracket out, but what is this thing? So I look it up in the parts manual, and apparently if I had pulled this out yesterday, it would have disengaged that wheel so that this thing would have rolled so much more easily. But I had no idea. I did not know. There was no label. There was no signage here to tell me what this thing did. Oh well. Onward and upward. New brackets on the left and the right. Everything's secured. Now I just need to get the new belt on. Look, there's a little bunny. And further down the road, there's a little deer. Little deer back there. Hi, buddies. I want to get your opinion on something. Hey, baby boy. I got these 5 free 2x6x8s from a guy. 1 treated, 1 cedar, and 3 pine. And I want to frame in to screen like I've done in this section here. I want to do it over here. So my thought is to best utilize this lumber is obviously put the treated one on the bottom up against the brick, cedar one on the top, maybe. I mean, it's going to be up against wood and it'll be out of the direct rain, but it's still going to be horizontal. And then use the 3 soft pine, the white pine, to do the verticals. This side is all treated around the edges, and then these two center posts are untreated just because that's what I had, and then I ran out of treated. So maybe it's worth it for me to go ahead and get either another cheap piece of cedar or treated just to make the edges treated, and then I can do the centerpiece untreated, and then everything's getting paint, even all the treated stuff over here. I'm starting to do the caulk to fill in the gaps between the wood and the brick, and then I'll paint everything with Kills and then Rust-Oleum. White, probably. And these little windows will obviously have a little recessed hatchway that is screened, made out of 2x2s, so that I can access the bird feeders from inside. What were you saying?
This is beautiful.
She was just making orgasmic noises.
Thank you.
I want to see you cut it.
Yeah.
Cut into it slow. I'm gonna get real grotesquely
Oh my
close.
God.
Yeah. Right up in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're about to toast this up gratuitously and slather it with butter obnoxiously.
Yummy.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it. Let me get real close. I employ a 4-tier system for keeping chicken shit and dog shit off my shoes and thus not tracking it into the house. These doormats are the absolute best I've ever used. They're made out of recycled tires. So one side is like a fuzzy side. One side looks like a rubber tire. These are probably 40 bucks, 40, 50 bucks on Amazon. And they're held together with really strong heavy gauge wire. I've used these for years. I've got a few of them. They're the best doormats that you can buy, 100%. I also have this shoe scraping brush, this job site brush, which I find works the best when you strap it to a board and then you stand on the board with one foot while brushing the other. So you then put your right foot over here and brush your left foot off. But even that's not quite enough. So up here, I've got this all synthetic yellow brush with really stiff bristles. I think this is like a scrubbing cleaning brush, but I use it for the bottoms of my shoes. But even this can't get all the little bitty pebbly shit out of all the tread on your shoes. So I keep a hoof pick. This is a horse hoof pick. Looks a little bit like a flathead screwdriver. And I keep it hanging here right next to the brush. So that's what I dig the really hard stuff out of the tread with. Between these 4 things, for the most part, I keep the shit out of the house. You'll see I have another doormat in there. That's just a $5 Lowe's doormat just to get like the last remaining moisture off the bottoms of your shoes before you track it in. I'm pretty serious about keeping shit off my floor. One thing I'm doing a lot of here is filling gaps. This will not be visible in the end product. I'm filling a lot of gaps with silicone silicone caulk. But I am gonna have trim coming off this that covers all this. But this is all just so bugs and moisture and things can't get in. And you know, as straight as the board is, the brick underneath is not. And I could not make that fit the brick. It touches in several spots and doesn't touch in several other spots. So we do the best we can and we fill the gaps. It'll all work great. We added a little garden bed in the back. I'd say it's probably 4 feet wide by 8 feet long. Very, very simple. Just cardboard, soil, more cardboard around the edges, cardboard held down with rocks and logs. We've got some sort of herb. Corey always tells me and I always forget. Cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, some really handsome habanero peppers growing over here. And I just trellised between these 2 T-posts with some coated wire, plastic coated cable. And it's got turnbuckles at the other end so I can just keep tightening it up over time as it gains slack. Yeah, it's a pretty good little garden bed. It's easy to just throw one down in the middle of the yard somewhere that you don't want to mow. Well, I got the top part of the front porch screened in. Looks really good. I still need to make some inserts for the bottom part because what I've decided is that I'm going to take you over there so I can point at things as I talk about them. The mower is still broken. It's still throwing belts. Even after I've replaced all the belts, I've replaced the brackets that hold the transmission in place. I'm not sure what's going on, but shout out to my cousin Jason. He came and mowed for me, and I think in about a week or so, he might come over and help me suss out the lawnmower. He's much more of a mechanic than I am, which is not difficult to achieve. So I have finished framing in the upper part. I have not put the trim on the outside yet. I just haven't bothered because it's functional right now. But as soon as I go back to town, I will grab some trim. I also need to build the hatches and I need to build the screen door. I think for you watching the video, I've probably said all these things like 4 times, but for me, it's been quite a bit of time. So here at what I would call like the front of the house, I'm going to screen in these bottom parts. But what I want to do is build little frames out of 2x2s with little cross members that have handles that I can like pull out and then put back in pretty easily. And then I might put like used rubber hose around the edges so it almost acts like a friction gasket, because I want it to fit in there tightly, especially during like wind and rain and storms. But at the same time, I do not want it permanent, because when I'm sweeping or pressure washing off the concrete inside, I want these drain holes here to be usable. Really, I'd like to be able to clean out all the brick. So I think I'm just gonna frame the screen, jam it in there, pressure fit it, and then I'll be able to pop it out, clean, sweep, stick it back in. Yeah. And then once I get trim on the top, I'll put trim on these inserts and they'll all match. That'll look cohesive. Screen door will also match everything, because I'm just gonna build the screen door out of 2x4s and 2x2s. Yeah, and screen. All right, that's it. This episode's long enough.